Why should I pay more for organic food? Ziggy Marley quotes in his song Tumbling Down, "Here come synthetic foods and their big time money, and they want to control our bodies and souls." Bob Marley's son is trying to say that synthetic foods are bad for our body and want to control them. In all my years in the kitchens, I've talked to many executive chefs over this issue, and all of them say that organic food is very useful and definitely worth the time and the money to purchase them. The problem is society is unsure of the differences between true organic food and synthetic food. First, I want to talk about the differences between the two so that you guys understand and will be able to pick them out in the grocery store. The second thing is that the FDA is very lenient on synthetic food industries, and the third one is I'm going to show you guys how to slowly start working in organic food into your diet. Now, the majority of society is unsure of the differences between the two, except for the fact that organic food is much more expensive, so they instinctively buy the synthetic food. According to the Tufts University Health and Nutrition Letter, a certified organic label means that the farm is following the standards of the USDA's National Organic Program, which states that livestock must be raised without antibiotics or synthetic hormones, and that the feed is vegetarian, pesticide and herbicide free, and cannot come from genetically modified sources. Organic food is created through a natural source, so clearly cannot be bad for us. This has been done since the beginning of time. On the other hand, if hormones are added, the food quality declines and becomes very unhealthy for us. This is a fairly new thing in science and has not been tested thoroughly. And the long-term effects cannot be known since this is a fairly new thing, so the outcome could be disastrous, and we really don't know. There are also labels that are natural, and these are very deceiving, and they also do contain GMOs or genetically modified organisms. But the problem is that we lack labeling requirements for genetically modified organisms, meaning that they are not on the box. It does not say it contains genetically modified organisms. This isn't the case in European countries, and for that fact, it is much more controversial. When choosing true organic food, it is important to look for one thing, and that is that the box says USDA certified organic food. They have many regulations, and this decides that it is definitely organic. Also, if you're purchasing meat specifically, it is important to choose 100% grass-fed. Now that we know the difference between true organic food and synthetic foods, just how bad are synthetic foods? Well, the FDA sets very lenient regulations on these industries. According to Richard Horton, when a manufacturer violates federal safety regulations, the agency has a power to seize and order a recall of the products, impose fines, or initiate criminal action. While this is true, there are many loopholes in the system, and the synthetic food industries are aware of this. They send one of two things, either a warning letter or a notice of violation. In the warning letter, it requires that the food industries give a written response, but does not require that they prove that they have fixed the problem at hand. This is definitely a loophole, and they take advantage of this. The second one is a notice of violation, which is just that. It notifies the food industry that they have done wrong, but does not require any written response. You can see how these loopholes are unbeneficial. Now, I understand that it can sometimes be hard to impose a strict organic diet, considering that 80% of the food that you find in the grocery stores is synthetic in one way or another, and that there are misleading food labels such as natural foods. But I want to share with you some steps to help you get started with eating healthier. The first one is to become more comfortable with organic food, and when choosing organic food, and also search for recipes that include organic food in them. There's a book that I found very helpful, and it's called Notes on Cooking. There are many tidbits in here about healthier cooking and stuff like that. The second thing is it's a documentary called Food Inc. You can find it on Netflix or at Blockbuster or anything like that. And this shows how synthetic food industries raise their livestock and even vegetables and stuff like that. So you get to see firsthand how you're being taken advantage of. Also, you could visit a local farm. By visiting a local farm, you get to see the animals and how they're raised and if they're healthy or not. Nothing proves better that organic food is better for you than to see the animals and how healthy they are. You can also compare the animal health to the animal health in the ones that you see in Food Inc. The last step would be to start changing where you shop and to start shopping at a Whole Foods store or a Central Market because they have the majority of organic foods. Now that we have distinguished organic versus synthetic foods, it's easy to see how organic foods support a healthier lifestyle. When manufacturers of synthetic foods try and maximize their profit and the FDA doesn't keep a close eye on them, it's easy for them to fall into temptation and to lose interest in the consumers. So, back to Ziggy Marley's quote in Tumbling Down. Synthetic foods want to control our body and soul. Now, does this mean something more to you now? In a way, Ziggy Marley is right. Synthetic food companies want to control the industry and provide so many products that it's really hard to avoid them in your typical grocery store. Just remember, every time you go to the grocery store and buy food, you are voting.